My face is my warrant, and that's the extent of the writing in this movie. Transformers: Age of Extinction is the 4th movie in the Transformers franchise, and it follows Optimus and all of his sort of generic Autobots on their adventures after the events of the 3rd movie where Chicago got destroyed, and now humans are hunting Transformers, and they're kind of doing some other things with Transformers, and I won't go into that because it'll be spoilery, but the point is humans are against Transformers as a whole now, not just Decepticons but Autobots too, and then there's a big force that's trying to destroy the planet as usual. And going into Transformers 4, I wasn't that excited. I enjoyed the 3rd one. I like the action in it. I don't like the attempts at comedy involving like Ken Jeong and John Malkovich, who... John Malkovich is usually funny, but just that movie... Let's get away from that. Going into this movie, the trailers were decent. I thought that it would just kind of be more of the same, and it pretty much is more of the same. There's a lot of action in the movie. It's better filmed in this movie, by the way, but there's a lot of action. There's some really terrible humor. There's also terrible dialogue. The CGI is fantastic. There's no acting that's really extremely memorable. It's just, I could end the review right now if I wanted to, but I'm gonna go into more depth. One thing this movie did was replace Shia LaBeouf with Mark Wahlberg, and I like Mark Wahlberg a lot, and I don't like Shia LaBeouf pretty much at all, so that was a big plus for me, and I thought Mark Wahlberg, like, not necessarily elevated the movie, but he made it better than Shia LaBeouf made the other Transformers movies. And Stanley Tucci also has a supporting role in the movie. He's really funny. I really like Stanley Tucci, and I think he played his character well. Let's talk about some of the robots in the movie, because Optimus Prime, he's the leader of the Autobots, and he, of course, has his monologues in this movie, but I liked how they kind of flipped it, because at the end of the last movie, Optimus Prime was like, "We'll never forsake this planet," or whatever he said. And at the beginning of this, he's like, "I'm gonna kill all the humans," and that's because of what's changed since then, and I thought that was a nice thing to see. Let's talk about the villains here. I mean, there's 2 main villains, one of them being Galvatron and one of them being Lockdown, and Galvatron was kind of just underused. I mean, he wasn't there that much. But his plan, he wants to take over the world, and that's that. And Lockdown was fantastic. I loved that villain in this movie, because he's just this bounty hunter. He doesn't care about sides, Autobots, and Decepticons. He's just there to get what he has to do done. His design was really cool. I liked the character overall. He had a ship that would just kind of like suck things up from the ground, and that was cool. And he had this music that came on whenever he was on screen that I thought was really well done, and I enjoyed that. And Kelsey Grammer also has a small role, and he's good in the movie too. And just this movie, like, the CGI in this movie is fantastic, and you'd come to expect that from a Transformers movie. But just, like, every single time I see these movies, I'm always in awe of how amazing they look and how photorealistic all the robots are to the environments around them, and it's great. And the action in this movie, like I said before, was better filmed than the last few movies. There's not as much quick cutting. It happens a few times, but there's a lot of nice shots that just let the action develop rather than just cut, 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 cut. The action itself isn't anything you have never seen before. It's just kind of a world or city destruction like these Transformers movies like to do. And if you don't like that, then you won't like the movie. But you kind of know what to expect with these movies at this point. And let's talk about the Dinobots, actually, because everyone's really excited for them, and I was kind of curious to see them because it's Dinobots. But the Dinobots are in the movie for 10 minutes, and I'm not even exaggerating that. They are really in the movie for 10 minutes, and that's disappointing. However, when they are on screen, they are awesome, and they kick ass, and it's a great, fun time to watch them, and I hope there's more of them in the sequel, which is coming in 2 years. I will say, this movie is darker than the previous Transformers movies. Like, they did a couple things in the movie where I was surprised that this is still PG-13. There was, like, one death in particular near the beginning, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. It's just like, wow, that's a That was a little shocking to me, but and the humor, they toned it down a bit. There's still some really stupid Bay humor in it, but that's unavoidable at this point if he's directing the movie, so I just kind of let it happen. I didn't enjoy it, but it happened. And this movie is overlong. Everyone's gonna say that. Everyone's been saying that about these movies ever since they started, but this movie is overlong, and there are scenes that don't need necessarily to be in there. They could be cut out, and I don't know, I feel like both villains in this movie could have held their own movie on their own. I feel like Lockdown especially. There's a lot of subplots in there too that they shoehorn in there, and it gets annoying after a while. Even during the action, I found myself saying, alright, is this gonna end anytime soon? And that's not something you want in a movie like this. But overall, like I said before, you know what to expect with these movies. You don't expect great acting, and there's a pretty terrible script. But if you want to go and be entertained and watch robots kick the shit out of each other for 2.5 hours, you'll be entertained, but just don't expect too much. I'm gonna give Transformers Age of Extinction a B-. I have a little bit of a soft spot for these movies. I enjoy them for what they are. I don't try to like trash them like most people do. I go there and I have fun watching them. They're not great movies, and that's basically it. So what do you guys think of Transformers Age of Extinction? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Is this your favorite movie of the franchise so far? I would say probably yes, even though I really love the action in Transformers 3. I hate the human story of it. Write your beautiful comments down there and tell me what you think, and if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'll just... Optimus will become more bloodthirsty than he already is, and he'll kill me.